Do you have the DJI RC Pro 2 remote control? It's compatible with the Mavic 4 Pro, Mini 5 Pro, Mini 4 Pro, and Air 3 and Air 3S. If so, this is the perfect guide for you. In this short guide, I'm going to take you through some of the sort of more secretive, unknown features and icons that I hope you will find really useful when you are flying. In the top left of the remote control, you have a little information box, and that is your flight status screen. Now in that, just click on it and you can get quick access to your return to home altitude settings, your max altitude settings, and your max distance settings. So rather than going through all the three dots, just click on that to get those details and adjust them as you want, either before the flight or during the flight. Also in there, you can determine whether you want the media that you're taking to be stored on the internal storage, or just quickly switch and go to the SD card, so your external storage that you have there, and then just click back onto the screen and you're back in seeing the full screen again. So there's no need for you to click on the three dots. All you have to do is click on that little information piece up at the top left corner to get those flight settings and adjust those distances as you need. The reason for this useful tip is that if you do click on the three buttons, then it goes back to the previous screen you were on. You then have to click the back button and then try and navigate, where is it that I find those settings for my max altitude, range, and also return to home altitude. So that top left icon is really good for this. Gets you in that information very quickly, and then you can return to your screen. If you click where you have your countdown timer and the percentage, it actually gives you a lot of useful information. It gives you the amount of time that you have left until it will activate the return to home. It also gives the amount of time left until it will forcibly land the drone. And also it will tell you how much time you have left until the battery is depleted and it will basically fall out of the sky. Your next icon is the RC icon, and this will tell you how strong the signal is from the remote to the drone. And you really want to have it as max as possible so that you don't get signal interference. Your next icon is the visual sensor action icon, and what you want it to do when it comes up against an obstacle. Do you want it to brake? Or maybe do you want to turn it off? Maybe just for this mission, because you're flying very, very close to a building that you're surveying, and you can here just disable it for this flight. I would not recommend doing this for prolonged periods of time, but then also you can have the bypass on as well, where it will attempt to weave in and out and bypass obstacles. But I tend to keep it on brake, just because even though I think the visual sensors are really, really good, I want the ultimate safety possible, and that's where I go for brake. And in terms of turning it off, I really have never turned it off at all. The zoom is that good that you just do not need to do it because you have those three cameras. The next icon you have is the GPS strength, in terms of how many satellites your drone is locked onto so that it can get its representation position on the earth, so as it knows where it is and where it will need to come back to when you press the return to home. In the bottom right hand side, again, you can click on storage and decide whether you want to store your media on the internal storage or on the SD card, depending on your preference. And also you can change your resolution. So in this case for video, 6K and 60 frames a second. And with the EV, you can adjust that up or down, but you also have the rotator reel as well on the remote control. And when you press that auto camera, it will take you into the pro settings. So you can adjust things such as the aperture, the ISO, and the shutter speed as well. As you do more training, remember to click those three dots. And in there, make sure that you customize your stick controls. So whether you're going to go for something like mode 1 or mode 2 or mode 3, depending on maybe what sort of games you're playing, maybe it's a PlayStation or an Xbox or something you're used to, and then also get into those button customizations. So I use the C1 and C2 to switch between different focal lengths so I can zoom in and zoom out quickly, and you've got all those extra settings as well. So for the C1, you've got all of these sort of things that you can adjust depending on what your preference is, either overall or for a certain task. And that little rocker wheel, you can adjust your upper, lower, left, right and mid. So you've got a whole load of features there that you can use on that little rocker wheel switch, and that is fantastic. And especially things like recentering the gimbal. And again, you've got your control, you've got your camera, and you've got your other settings that you can pre-program as you wish. And you can also customize things such as the rotator wheel, and there's also the option to customize whether you do the rotator wheel while also pressing the C1 button. So you can rotate the camera as you're flying, and it can all be preset for you in the remote control. But it requires you to just continue training and adjusting and deciding what it is that you like to do. So I hope that this guide has been useful. It's a short, sharp guide, nothing flim-flam about it, but carry on flying. And if you've got any questions at all, just put them in the comments, let me know, and I'll get back to you. Thank you very much for watching.